here we go. Hey guys, welcome to episode 30 of the Link Cable Podcast. We made it. We've done 30 of these now, believe it or not.
30?
Yeah,
We have done 30 episodes.
Wait.
Go us.
That looks better. Yeah.
Yep, and we finally had enough of Mike.
30.
We kicked him out. Mike's gone. We hate that son of a gun. Out of
Mike.
here. Nah, just kidding. Mike couldn't make it,
Hi,
but we
buddy.
pulled in
I don't even remember
CJ.
what he looks like.
Yeah, I know. It's because he lives in Florida. That's where all the retirees are.
Well, he's cuter than me, so there's that.
He's retiring.
He's retiring now. After episode 29, it was enough. No, Mike will be back next week, most likely.
Those baby blues.
The baby blues. We have
Telling you,
CJ
man,
joining
you
us
can.
tonight, so thank you, CJ, for hopping in. And
Thank you, CJ.
in our little pre-show we do
Oh.
before, we kind of talked about how he's a friend of mine visiting, and I was like, oh, I have a podcast. You want to join us? And he brought over a ton of equipment for audiovisual and was so ready to do this. So thank you for being so
Got a
well
truck
prepared.
in the
and-
back. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Right.
He's
Is
like-
it a generator back there? You know, it's good. Yeah.
He's got a
We've
good
got
setup.
craft
level of
services.
preparedness. I like it.
So this is pretty exciting. So we got a lot of cool stuff going on
Yeah.
this week. There's
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
exciting Pokemon news.
Just in
and
case CJ ever has to be on a podcast, he's ready. He just
Yeah, he
has
leaves
his
it in his
stuff with
car.
him. He's like,
Always
anytime
ready.
he goes over to his friends.
Yeah. Just in case. Just in case. You never know which friend's gonna have a podcast.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, so there's also Star Wars news with a bunch of craziness going on there. But first, let's go around our little virtual room here and talk about what exciting video games we've played the last week or so. So who wants to go first this week? Who's got something they just can't wait to get off their chest? Video game news.
Well, I'll go first because that's such a great setup, the off your chest, because
Ooh.
I'm wearing a shirt of what I've been playing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were going to take your shirt off. That was
take
really
it off.
Yeah,
Spotify.
take it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Take it off your chest.
It's not that kind of show.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
We want to get our viewers up, I thought.
We're
So
30 now. We're an adult. We do whatever we want.
That's right.
Well, apologies to the Spotify listeners. I know you guys can't see this, but I am wearing a Splatoon shirt. Let me try to. I'll get my camera down a little bit.
Ooh.
So it's the Splatoon Super Mario Splatfest shirt, which went on just this last weekend.
Wait, they made
so-
shirts for that?
Yeah, they made shirts for it. It's really cool.
Wow.
So I'm really excited about it. I got them. I was Team Super. So I'll start from the beginning. It's Team Super Mushroom
So
versus
excited.
Team Superstar. So it's a crossover with the Super Mario Brothers 35th anniversary,
Okay.
and which is really cool because I don't think Splatoon 2 had done a lot of crossovers like that. The first one did like they had the Pokemon was it Red versus Blue. They had Transformers like Autobots versus Decepticons.
hmm
Cool.
But Splatoon 2 was kind of like, do you like ketchup or mayonnaise? And it was like,
Yeah, I
shit,
remember
don't
that.
know. Like, I think they did that one twice. They like,
Mayonnaise?
oh yeah, Team Mayonnaise all the way.
Yeah, who likes mayonnaise more than
But,
ketchup?
I do.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you?
You are the minority.
That's gross.
Maybe so. All right. It depends on what kind of ketchup, though, because like the regular ketchup is garbage, but like the low sugar or no sugar, that ketchup I really like. Yeah.
Ew.
I haven't tried like low ketchup, low sugar.
You know what?
ketchup.
Okay, but this is going to be hard to debate because ketchup in
good.
Canada and the U.S. is very different. Canadian
different?
ketchup is a lot different flavored. It
Are they?
doesn't.
I don't know.
It has more. I mean, it has less corn syrup in it.
Kevin,
Oh, I
send
do have
us
a question
ketchup.
actually for you Canadians here. So, my girlfriend who's Canadian, she does not refrigerate her ketchup. Do you guys refrigerate your ketchup?
That's weird. She should refrigerate her ketchup.
That's what I said.
Ketchup.
Her whole family doesn't do
Yeah.
that.
That is weird. Never heard
It's
of that
so weird. I mean,
weird.
you don't have to, but it's weird.
because it is
tastes
vinegar
weird.
based. I guess it won't go bad and stuff like
So
that.
you
No,
said she's
French-
from like somewhere in Quebec, right? Like north of Ottawa.
Frenchies.
So
It's cold
probably
enough.
Cold enough year round. You just throw it like it's fine. The
Okay, wait.
like,
All right, hold on. Bagged milk. Do you guys do that?
Of course.
Of course.
You guys are the weird ones for that. Who does
No.
not put milk in bags?
That's going to
bagged
be the
milk-
next Splatoon thing: bagged
It's the
milk or
weirdest
galloned
thing.
milk in a
Yes.
jug.
Look,
Yes.
the first time I tried bag milk, all right, I cut off a little corner, and this is like a plastic bag. It's really strange. You put it in a little container, and then you pour it out.
completely normal.
Initiate.
It tasted like cow shit.
Ew.
I
no.
kid you not. It tasted terrible, and they're all looking at me like, "Why do you not like our milk?" And then they came and tasted it, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is a really bad batch." Apparently, I don't know what happened, but yes, this bagged milk had somehow infused with the flavor of cow manure.
Ew.
And yeah, that was my first time with bagged milk, and I'll never touch that shit again, dude. It was awful. Oh my god. I'm so
That is
glad you guys
unwired
don't drink that
experience.
normally.
I have
That's
never in my
unlucky.
life.
Dude, it
That's
was the
Splatoon 2.
weirdest. It was so strange, man.
Oh god.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't like. I've never had that
All right.
happen before.
Anyways, moving on. Everybody's getting super silent.
Yeah.
Continue to tell us about your game. I'm sorry, Alex.
Right.
Let me hear about Splatoon, Alex.
Splatoon.
Right, so this Splatoon 2. So this weekend they did a Splatfest to celebrate the Mario 35th anniversary. I was Team Super Mushroom as I bought the merch, and it was against Team Superstar. The Team Superstar shirts were really nice too. Like the designs are like Mario and Splatoon mix, but they got like the black shirts. I got the
Cool.
white one on. And I was like, I kind of want another one, but like these are like from like you have to buy them from like Nintendo's official store, and they like charge you an arm and a leg
Jesus
for them. Like,
Christ,
this
yeah.
is like 3
Oh.
times the price I
And
would
Nintendo
normally wear
packs.
pay for a T-shirt.
You actually bought
but
that
anyway.
from Nintendo, eh? Cool.
There's like it was that or an eBay reseller. Like there was no other there's no other option there. But it was really cool because like this shirt is the same one as the shirt your character wears in the game, and I was like, oh, it's kind of like
Cool.
has this nice little
Oh, that is
crossover
kind of
thing.
cool. That's neat.
Yeah.
So I
Very, very meta.
Very meta.
yeah it was, it was,
Shirt
so I
within a
live
shirt.
streamed- shirt within a shirt. So I live streamed myself playing last night, and I thought I was playing poor. Like I thought I was playing really just awful. But a couple people were like, "No, you won like 85% of your games." Like I was like, "Oh wow, I thought I was like, I'm losing it for our
Tanking.
team. Like we were doing so bad." It was actually tons of fun, and so like Splatoon 2 is such a game. Like it's not getting like that constant support anymore. Like this felt like a special event.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
this was
didn't
like,
they-
Hey, it's Mario's 35th. Like,
Didn't they stop
no,
those versus
Yeah, they
events?
did.
Yeah, they keep coming
did,
back.
and then
I
at
feel
the
like you keep
beginning-
telling us about them, so it's Nintendo must not want them to die. Nintendo's
what
loving
they
it.
did was what they did was at the beginning of the pandemic, they said they were going to bring them back, and they were just going to do like redos of old ones. Like they did mayonnaise versus ketchup again. They did Halloween. They did trick versus treat again.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then this one was like the first new one that they've done since the game was new. So that's why I was like, oh,
So,
I really got to dive
are
into
you-
this. So
Are you playing Splatoon consistently, or are you just jumping in when these events happen?
I'm just jumping in right now. I'm just jumping in when they happen. I was playing consistently when it was new. Like I checked my ranking. It's like your rank doesn't go down, which is really nice. So I'm still S rank.
Okay,
But like I can't play at that level anymore
I see.
without practice. So, but yeah, it was really fun to just jump back into it. Like the results, like the results of the Splatfest, I don't think they've come out yet as of I'm saying this.
Mhm.
I hope we won because it's always fun to win and you just get more in-game like prizes for yourself. But
I want to be on Team Shrooms, buddy.
yeah,
I'd be on Team
Shrooms.
Team Shrooms. Let's go.
Sign me up.
That was my. I live streamed myself playing it. It's on our YouTube channel. You can check it out there. But it was a lot of fun. Like every time I go back to Splatoon 2, I'm like, oh yeah, this game is great. Why don't I play this more often? And I just don't play it. But
Every time that happens, you always come back and you always say the same thing. Anytime there's an event, you're like, why don't I play this more? And we hear nothing until another
Yeah, that's what I was
event
wondering. I was like, are you like, is this in your rotation of games like normally, or you just like
Oh,
hear about
it-
like they have an event going on? That's one of the
years
games.
ago, it would have been.
I'm the opposite, where I'm like, yeah, I want to play it, and then I don't. So at least you're doing it, because I haven't played that game since I bought it at
Nice,
launch.
man.
I don't think, and that game is good. There's nothing wrong with
Like,
it. I just don't know why I don't play it. It's fun.
I was looking around, like I was playing yesterday. I've got my Splatoon 2, like they put out that Pro controller that has like the green and pink
Yep,
handles with all the Splatoon. I've got that.
Cool.
I've got all the amiibo for it. I've got the shirt. I was like, I've like dedicated
Yeah,
myself to this game.
You're
I
just
don't
short of
play
one
it.
tattoo of it at least, so you're
Wait,
close.
it's green and
Yeah.
pink.
Yeah, the controller.
Yeah,
That would
The Pro controller, yeah.
match.
it's like
That
the
would
shirt.
match perfectly with Zahi's shirt. That's what I was just thinking, man. Look at that. It would match perfectly with it.
I would love to be rocking
Not
that
within
right now.
reach. I grab it.
Yes.
It's not within reach.
My shisha
cool.
color is
Have-
green right
now,
so
CJ,
I'm working it.
Since you're new here, what quickly console wise, like, do you have a Switch? What kind of stuff do you have like that?
Yeah,
Have you
what
even
do you
played
play?
Splatoon? Like, what do you got?
I do PS4 and I do PC.
Okay, PS4 and
Those-
PC.
Yeah.
So you haven't
those
touched
are the two.
Splatoon yet, I assume then, since it's in.
I have no idea what that is.
Neither have I.
Zero.
not a Nintendo person.
It's just picture.
But Alex is really excited about it,
It's
so
a
I'm
fun
excited
game.
about it. You know,
Just picture a bunch of squid kids with paintball guns and brushes, and
what's a squid kid?
yeah,
use your imagination.
they're squid kids.
They're squid kids.
Like-
Everybody wants to be a squid
I
kid.
really don't know how to say it other than
Hold on.
like.
Oh wait,
I'll-
I have one within reach.
I got stuff to show.
I got
You
one within
do?
reach.
There you go.
Here we go. This is the girl squid. Wait, what's inkling, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's
Squid-like.
like loosely
Squid-like.
squid-like,
Very
very
loosely.
loosely. Yeah.
They have like, but when they like dive, they like have squid animations.
Yeah. So they
And I
turn
forget
into
why
squids.
They ended up picking squids,
Do
I
they
don't
shoot
know.
ink?
Oh,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a long
that's-
story
but it's
about
like paint.
Yeah, it's like paint and stuff. I don't know. It's a
the
fun
first
game.
one.
And the
Okay.
whole
I
point of the
can see
game
the
is
squid.
there's two colors on a
It's
map.
like an FPS. But
Yeah,
for
yeah.
kids.
It's like a shooter,
Sorta.
right? And you have to shoot paint. And
Third,
at the,
it's a
Friendly.
third-person shooter.
yeah, third person shooter.
Yeah.
And at the end of every match, it's like 3 minutes long or something like that. Whichever team can cover the map with more of their color paint
ground.
wins. And that's it.
Oh.
It's really fun. And there's different weapons. Like
All
you can
right.
get a paintball or a
It's a
paintball
different
gun.
take on like shooting.
Exactly. There's rollers, paintbrushes. I mean, there's tons of different weapons. So it's a fun game.
It actually has a surprise. It's a really good introduction for like say young adults to get into like FPSs, but it also has like a lot of real good depth and complexity where like it's
is.
actually a competitive FPS.
When you get up to like S rank where I was, it is not for it is,
is
not,
not-
introductory.
yeah.
Then it
will
no
kick
longer
your
becomes
ass
fun.
in
Wait.
the game.
Wow, what a humble brag, Alex. Oh, I was at when you get to S rank like I was, guys. It's really hard.
And I'm still there because it doesn't go
Very proud of
down.
that. I will brag all over that.
You
I'm
should be
no longer
proud.
quick.
I'm calling you out on it, but yeah, you absolutely should be proud because that is good. Anytime you get S rank in any game, assuming there's ranks like that, but yeah, that's top tier, man. Congratulations to you.
Oh, jeez.
Alex is no longer
There
a squid
is a
kid.
tier. There is a tier above it. There's X rank, which I could.
Oh, never mind. I
That's
retract
okay.
everything I said. Forget it. Nope.
Hey, man,
Buddy,
I'm a
it's-
scrub. Like I suck at this game.
Yes.
Screw up.
Alex is now a squid man.
Alex is good when he's playing against the
Squidman.
10-year-olds, but then when he gets against the 15-year-olds, he can't handle it anymore.
Hey man, sometimes those 10-year-olds, they are tough as shit to beat, man. Let me tell you. Jesus.
Hey,
My daughter's 12 and she'll smoke me at plenty of games, trust me.
Oh my gosh.
God.
All right,
My
Alex.
update. I've been playing Splatoon 2.
Okay. Anything else outside of Splatoon? Have you
That's it.
gotten any more? No more turd collecting like last week in Zelda?
Oh, right, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, we've all been
yeah,
waiting for this update because we thought this game would be done.
Yeah.
And
That's
hint
why
for
we
See, I'm playing all the games from 4 years ago. That's
yeah,
how far back.
hint to all the listeners and anyone watching or wherever. Alex has been like updating us in our group chat for everyone on Link Cable about all the turds he's been collecting, and he just keeps pushing this game to the limit. He's getting every dollar worth squeezed out of this game from 4 years ago. And I would have given up, but you know what? I did give up years ago because I couldn't even take the weapons breaking. And this guy, he's still playing it on the Wii U.
You couldn't even find the shit.
Why am I
you know?
playing it on the Wii U? That's bizarre, but
Yeah, and for those of you who weren't here last week listening to this, and CJ, I know you're one of them. So, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild is a huge
All
game,
about.
and there's these like
Dude, it's
like
good. I've played it.
These like seed turds you collect. What are they called, Alex?
They're not okay. That's what. Okay, I was curious about the turds.
Koroks.
They
you
are
call, you
turds.
call the Korok seeds turds.
They're
That's what it
turds.
is?
They're turds, and he's gotten
I mean,
every
they
single
look
one.
Like teardrops. They're teardrop turds, I guess, if you're gonna call them turds.
They're turds, and he got every single one, and I'm very impressed.
You got every single one. God
300, I
damn.
I own it twice. I owned this out. I
Yeah.
owned this game twice.
twice.
Why Wii U?
Alex likes weird games.
Well,
So
look behind
little-
me at this random collection of stuff. I like weird stuff. I like collecting weird gaming things, and I thought there was nothing weirder than at the time Breath of the Wild coming out on a dead console like the Wii U. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
That is
that's cool, that's
strange.
funny.
Yeah, that'd be like if
Big,
they released a new title, but they released it for PS1. Like that's really odd. I guess
this.
PS2 would be more accurate, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, you got
just,
the.
yeah, for Just Dance for the Wii.
What
Oh,
year
yeah,
is
good
that though?
times.
What year is
The
that?
original
Good
Wii,
times.
Just Dance 2020. on Wii.
2020.
Oh my god.
I love this kind of stuff. This
Yeah.
really weird. It's really just weird stuff. I love that.
So
are
did
they
you get?
are they priced as high as the current generation console games?
That was $39.99.
That's not bad. It's still a lot, but
No.
well, it's also Canadian.
it's
it's
a lot
Canadian
for a
price.
gag.
39. That's Canadian.
crazy.
That's
That's
Canadian.
Canadian.
Did you
Well,
Yeah.
considering where the
That's
dollar's
$5.
going, you're not too far off.
so
It's like $5 for you guys.
So Alex, two things for you. Did you one get the Mario and Sonic at the Olympics in Japan, or no? And where was the Olympics supposed to be? They were supposed to be in Japan, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Japan, Tokyo.
Okay. Did you get that one?
It's nice. I like this being closer to my collection because I can just kind of grab stuff. Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Yep, I got it too, and I haven't opened it. And then, are you
It's
getting
factory
this?
sealed. I like.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Are you getting the Scott Pilgrim physical edition?
Okay, so this is the thing. I don't know if I want it. 'Cause I
Whoa.
don't
Okay.
care
Hold
for
up.
Scott
Hold up.
Pilgrim.
Hold
I
up here.
don't, like,
So let's back up because I got some questions now for you. Now I'm getting stressed from this. So let's go around the room. Zahi and CJ, do you know about this game or anything about it?
Scott
No.
Pilgrim, yeah.
Okay. So Scott
I mean,
Pilgrim.
I've seen the movie,
Okay.
which I love, but that's
Nice.
all I know.
So, and Alex, jump in and tell me if I'm terribly wrong by the story I'm telling. So, the movie stuff came out. I know it's based off of a comic series or something like that. And they made a game 2010-ish
graphic novel.
time frame. It was a fighter brawler, whatever you want to call them. And it got removed off stores and everything else because of rights for the property. And I believe Ubisoft made it. Am I wrong with there? Were they
published it, yeah.
Published it. Okay, so they published it, and they were not allowed to sell it anymore because they lost the rights to the license for whatever. So all of a
It's
sudden,
like a Streets of Rage kind of game.
yeah, it's kind of like that. So fast forward to today, it's now out. I think is it out now? Should I say that? Is it out? Okay.
Yeah, just came out.
Okay, just came out digitally, but they have a
Friday, I
physical
think.
release version of it. So back to Alex, why are you not getting this? You are the king of buying random physical shit. Even I almost bought it.
Is it because it's not for the Wii U?
Maybe.
Is that why?
Maybe.
There was a Wii U version.
That's his cutoff.
I don't like Scott Pilgrim.
What?
Why?
Why?
It comes down to that. I've never. Well, okay.
I thought that shit's right
my
up your
review
alley.
Of Scott Pilgrim, the character, is he's an ass. He doesn't deserve Ramona Flowers.
Doesn't.
That's
No.
true.
He's an asshole.
But she's not a fucking pot of flowers either. I mean, I don't.
no, she's not. I don't know. I always felt bad for the girl that really likes him, and he's just like, I do not care about
Pieces
you.
out on her.
Yeah.
Talking
I
about
always felt bad.
knives?
Knives, yeah. I always felt bad about
Yeah, that
Knives.
cute little Asian girl. Yeah.
I just felt bad. Like she.
I don't
He
remember
likes
any of
Samoa,
this.
anyway.
Side end of that.
Yeah,
man,
So,
watch the movie. It was dope.
so I didn't like the movie. I never read the graphic novels or the comics, and I just like I get that this is like a physical release of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Like this is what people have been asking for since it got delisted like 10 years ago. I get that. I'm like, no, like I was showing earlier. I've got Just Dance 2020. I've got Mario and Sonic. Like I can't spend all my money on these gag games.
good one.
Yes,
can't
you
spend all my
can.
money on
You
these
have to.
Gags that
This is what you
mean-
live for. Do it.
I get it. I mean, if you don't like Scott Pilgrim as a character, I can understand why you wouldn't want
Yeah.
that game. Yeah.
I don't, because you have Just
Like,
Dance
it's-
2020 on the Wii, but you don't have Scott Pilgrim.
But there's no characters to connect with on Just Dance though, right?
I don't see
Yeah.
Alex dancing around his
I'd love
apartment
to
on a
really
Wii right
talk
now,
about it.
but I could see you playing Scott Pilgrim.
I'd love to play Just Dance 2020 on a Wii.
I'm gonna buy the physical copy
but
of it
anyway,
and
if
then
you-
rub it in your face and then be like, "Look what I got!" Because it's only $30, I think, U.S. dollars.
Only $30 for a shitty like
It's
platformer?
It's actually a good game. It's not like it's a bad game.
I mean,
that's
it's
the
like
thing, too.
Streets of
It's like, I've heard
Rage.
it's a
Yeah,
game.
it's a generic-y game, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh well.
You can ask my brother. I was talking to him earlier about it too, where I was like, I don't know. I had the page open, like, and I think Limited Run Games is taking pre-orders until February 28th,
Yep.
so I still got like
Ow.
some time to figure it
You have a little time.
out.
I was thinking
Well,
of
I
getting
just-
it.
I-
I do like the artwork on the box too, so
I
that
am
kind of wanted
thinking
me
of
to get
getting
it.
it. That's what I. The box is sick because it's got like the Sonic Adventure 2 art, but
It
like
looks
Scott
neat.
Pilgrim version. I was like, that's really cool. Like, how did they do that?
You know what? Here, I'm gonna tell
Why'd
you.
they do it?
I'm not going to try to sell you on this because it's not as important as some of the other things we've talked about before. Getting back into WoW and Oculus Quest 2, those are things you should spend your money on. Forget about Scott Pilgrim. That stuff's old news.
Can
That's-
you
that's
play
2010.
WoW on an Oculus?
Yes, but not in a full VR setting. You can play.
Oh,
You can
that's
play it
bummer.
in like you can have the screen in front of you, but it's not full 360 view. So it's
Fair
not
enough.
really worth
Interesting.
doing.
I'm surprised they
Basically.
haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I wish they'd have like a lot of stuff with WoW, like full controller support and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. But
Well, because going into Skyrim in full VR, like that was amazing. Have you guys done that?
I have not done Skyrim. I did.
Oh, I haven't done
I have
Skyrim.
not,
What else?
but
I think I did
really want
Fallout
to.
4. I think I tried it. And I got
dude,
sick.
yeah,
Fallout.
both of
I've
those
done
are great.
Fallout in VR.
I got
I mean, just
real
being
sick.
able
Yeah.
to enter your favorite games like in that VR perspective, like you're living in that world. Oh, I love that so much.
Don't get me started on VR. I get. Last week I got heated, and like in a good way.
Okay,
I got
well,
going.
we'll skip over
We
it.
got
but-
derailed.
Oh jeez.
Not derailed a little because
Little
of VR
smidge.
last
So
week.
we'll-
Let's get back to the games we
we'll-
played this week.
We'll push this
Yeah,
back.
Kevin,
So
keep us on point.
I know. What the hell am I doing, Alex? What do you
Yes,
got? Anything else? Was that your week?
Well,
You just
yeah,
Splatooned
the
all
real
out.
Quick Breath of the Wild update.
Okay.
The real quick Breath of the Wild update is I've got all the Korok seeds, so I got the turd statues. So that's fine.
Okay.
But now what I'm doing is, and like you said, I want to get every penny out of this game. Is I am trying to upgrade all the armor sets,
Oh man.
which is just boring because it's like
That sounds
yeah.
miserable.
Is there any point, Alex?
No.
what?
Is there a point? Like you get an achievement or
Oh, you just
anything? Like
have
a
the best
sword?
armor in the game.
You just give
Gotta
yourself
be
a
the
pat in the
best.
back.
He wants
Way to
to
go,
be
man.
the very best.
Basically.
Yeah.
Blink.
Yeah.
I think why I've gone back to Breath of the Wild and played it so much lately is like I really want more
Two?
Breath of the Wild.
I wish
and
I
the
had
sequel's
this
coming
feeling to
out
this game.
at some
I
point.
wish. Everybody I talk to is just like my friend Jeff, who's been on content for Link Cable. He discovered it over the last 2 months, and he's been in love with the game. My friend Brandon, who's been on this show as a guest host and done other content with us too, has been playing it recently, in love with the game. And
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
great.
stand it, and I don't know what is wrong with me. Why do I not like this game?
I guess you said the
You've
weapon
said it a million
destruction.
times.
Yeah,
Right.
I hate the weapons falling
Yeah.
apart. I get
Well,
angry.
then just get the weapon that doesn't break, and you're fine.
yeah,
Just
but
go back to playing Immortals, Kevin. Just
that game's pretty fun though. I'm
go back
also
to
worried that
play
I
it,
can't
like-
go backwards now because I feel like Immortals fixed everything I didn't like. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, Alex. Go on.
I don't know. I'm a big Zelda fan. No, just to say, I'm a big Zelda fan, and I love getting every little thing in these.
Alex
Zelda
is a
games.
bit of a
Like,
collectionist.
a little bit. I don't know if you
little
can tell. So,
Smidge.
but yeah, these just a but yeah, the armor upgrades. They're just you're just grinding for drops. It's not very fun to do, and I'm like, well, I'm already halfway through it. I might as well finish. So,
Fair.
and then I'll be done. I'll be like, there'll be nothing left to do in Breath of the Wild. I will. So either I have to start a new file if I really want to, or just say I'm going to wait for the second one when I'm ever going to.
No, go play the what is the game I reviewed
October?
called? No, the
Calamity?
Age of Calamity. Go play that.
Oh right, I should play Age of Calamity.
That's got a
actually.
taste of it, and it's similar-ish, and it still has the right vibes in the world and the characters, and I think there's a lot to grind out in that game. Let me tell you. So
Good.
I've even gone back
Really?
to that
I like-
game since I finished it. So I think that's, and if I'm able to do that, a guy who cannot focus on anything, I think you can go through and beat all that stuff. So
I like the first
Play
Hyrule
Dark
Warriors
Souls.
a lot, so yeah, I could do that.
I guess. All right, Alex. Anything else from over
That's it
there
for me.
from Zelda poops
That's it
and
for me.
Splatoon mayo and whatever it's got going on? Okay.
Splatoon mayo.
Splatoon mayo.
Delicious.
So CJ, we'll move on to you next. I'm just gonna
Tasty.
volunteer you, and so we kind of do just talk about what you played over the last week or so. And since you've never been on here, you can just talk about what you've been playing over the last month or so. We'll give you free reign.
Yeah, sure. So most recently, I've been playing the remaster of Saints Row 3.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
unique. What are you playing this on?
Nice.
The PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah. And that game is great, man. Like, I love Grand Theft Auto. Have you guys?
Holds up.
Yeah, it's Grand Theft Auto, but with a great sense of humor and ridiculousness and lots. I mean, Grand Theft Auto has lots of profanity and suggestivity and all that, but Saints Row takes it to
Obsessed
another
guns.
level. Yeah, so obscene, and it's a lot of fun so far. And the remaster, it's a good
The
job.
Penetrator.
It's great. Like, it's essentially the same gameplay, but they just
Tweaked it.
up the graphics and the lighting. Yeah, so everything on it's good. So that's been what I've really been going into. All right, I have a problem.
Uh-oh.
I'll share with you guys. Yeah, I have
Please,
this
come to
problem
us.
where I will spend, and you, Kevin, you were making fun of me earlier for not playing Witcher 3,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Dude, I've tried to play Witcher 3 probably 6 different times over the last several months, but here's what happens is I will
What
start,
happens?
I get the game, and then I'll start modding it, right? And I
Oh, no.
love modding games. Oh my God, I'm a modding fiend, right? But by the time I'm done
I
modding it,
love that.
I'm so done that I just don't even want to play the game. Like,
Oh my god.
I share that.
I don't know
sentiment.
why.
Yeah,
don't know why.
I played Fallout 4 and Skyrim on the Xbox Series X to see like the difference in how it is, and I just spent like 5 hours putting mods on the game and spending maybe 30 minutes in the game itself.
Yeah, it's like just the
every
idea of modding it for some
Yeah.
reason. It's just it feels so satisfying all in itself. And then when you get into the game, because you have to like it takes time for you to actually even see what those mods did in
Mhm.
some instances. You just don't care, right?
I
Like
feel it.
I don't know,
Oh
it's
my
strange.
gosh.
Yeah, but yeah, so I do the same thing with Skyrim too, man. Let me tell you, yeah, I do because I played the shit out of that game.
Yeah.
And like every time I try to go back, I mod it to make it look modern, and then yeah, you're in there for like 30 minutes. You're like, okay, I'm done. Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I played I think it was Skyrim that I tried to get through because I never actually beat it. I just kept wandering around, and then I got it for PC, and then I started modding it and doing stuff. I'm like, this looks so cool, and then yeah, I'm not gonna play it, but it looks cool. I don't know why. And I
does
just
look
keep
cool.
buying Skyrim on top of it because then I'm like, well, I gotta get it for Switch because if I can play it on the go, of course I'm gonna play it. And I played like 3 times.
They have it on the Switch now.
It's on the Switch. It's on everything, man.
Oh
And it runs pretty damn good on the Switch. I brought it when I went up north
Yeah, it's an
over
old
the
game,
summer, and I'm
man.
sitting there just like I played it for like a half hour, just sitting on the beach playing on my Switch Lite, and it's a good experience. I just like made a random character I would never make to play through seriously, and it was fun and it worked well. So I understand where you're coming from for that. No mods on the
don't
Switch
think
though.
I don't think I've ever modded a game. in my
What?
life.
Ever?
Oh,
I
it's
don't,
so
think,
much
I don't think
fun.
I've never ever done it.
There's so many things you can do in some of these games. If you just-
I can't think of a time where I would have.
Oh, I can just
So good.
list games:
I
Grand
like
Theft
to
Auto,
put, like,
Skyrim. Wow, I'm
yeah.
constantly modding every day when I'm adding mods to it. Like, shoot.
WoW allows you to put mods on.
Oh yeah, you mod everything in that game. It's not.
Well,
They're not like.
it's all.
They're like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they're like helpful mods that help you with things that like change your UI and allow you to do certain things. It's not like it's not game changing for everyone. They allow that kind of stuff. You can't like change it where you affect other people, obviously, because it's only yourself. But I can change my menus around, and I can do updates for. If I open up a vendor, it automatically sells all my common goods. Right? That's like a mod. Or it changes the way the map looks, or it automatically repairs everything when you go to blacksmith and stuff like that. Like simple mods. But
Those are nice.
I have a ton that I have to
more
run, or I just
quality of
can't
life
play.
mod.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a
Exactly.
perfect way to put it. Quality of life. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Saints Row. You said you played. I played the first Saints Row. I played the second Saints Row, and then I just started buying them after that, and then stopped playing them. So I own
I
them,
feel that.
but I haven't actually played those ones yet. But I will get to it one day. But now that they've remastered the third one, maybe I should wait for that one and not play the 360 version of it.
Well, you don't have to wait. I mean, it's already
Yeah.
out. But that's why they remastered it.
No, wait for me to buy it.
Oh, I see. Well, apparently the third one is like the quintessential experience for Saints Row, which is why they remastered it.
Yeah, because I swear they did a remaster of 4 too, didn't they? Or no? Am I making that up? Maybe they just did
There's
something.
like a
to it.
definitive edition. Of
Okay,
4.
that's what it is. And then there's
Yeah.
another one that was like the Get Out of Hell, right? Isn't that like a?
Get out of hell. It's
like
an
a-
expansion.
I did
to the
play
whole
that
game.
one. Yeah.
I have that one on 360. I've never played that. I just kept getting them because there was this time like when I used to subscribe to GameFly, I used to get these games and they'd give me like credits every month, and then at the end of the month they're like, oh, you have to spend these credits or they're gone, and you could use them towards used games. So I used to just buy all these random 360 games that were like $5, and I just get them for free, and I got all the Saints Row games, and I was like, oh, I'll play them one day. But yeah, that hasn't happened
One
yet.
day is here.
One
It's
day.
time.
Yeah.
It's time.
This is one day.
So yeah. Okay, what else outside of Saints Row, revisiting the old world of semi GTA? What else you got going on?
Ooh, I did play that new.
What's the most? How about this? What's the most modern game you've played recently?
Oh, modern.
You've
Well, there's
enjoyed
that. Yeah, so there's that new City Builder Sky game.
City Lions?
City Skylines.
City
You're-
Skylines.
Essentially, but you're on an airship.
Okay, now we're way up.
Yeah.
So-
And you have to build this airship, and like you have to take it around places, and you have to collect resources, but it's cool in the way where it's a city builder on this airship, but you have to account for weight and lift.
Wait, what game is this? I don't even know what you're talking about.
I've never heard of this
City
before.
building.
Yeah, just try to look it up real quick.
I am. I don't see
Airship.
anything for this. City building.
What's the name of the
Airship.
game called?
I'm trying to remember here real quick. I
Airship
wasn't prepared.
City. Is that it?
Airship, yeah, Airship City, Airship Kingdom, Airship Kingdom.
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
yep. I see it. Airship Kingdom
Oh,
is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
city
and-
builder. You're flying. Wow, this looks great. Actually.
Yeah. So
How have I
it's
never heard of this?
because it's kind of more just novelty, where
it's a niche game.
very niche.
Oh, is it
and
an early release title? I think it might be.
That I don't know. I do know it's like just very indie style, and
Yeah.
whereas it's unique and fun, where you kind of like building your city and then kind of trying to account for weight on either side of it. So, you have to build strategically so
Wow.
it doesn't sink, right? Because it affects your drag, and it affects where you can go, how fast you can go, all that kind of stuff.
This game looks
Um,
really cool.
Yeah, this
It-
looks
it-
really,
yeah.
really good.
I've
It's
never
cool,
heard of
it's
this though,
cool.
but wow,
It is cool for a while, but they definitely need to add more depth to it, because I played it for probably, I want to say 12 hours.
wow.
And then about at that point, I was like, it kind of lost its appeal a bit, you know?
Okay, that's
'Cause
fair.
there wasn't too much to do other than, all right,
Build
I feel like I
city.
built everything I could even build,
So it sounds so.
you know?
Just generic question overall gaming wise, like what type of gamer are you? Are you a guy that if you play a game you're gonna play it to the fullest, like Alex, where you're doing everything you can, or do you play a little bit until you're bored and then move on? What's your objective gaming wise?
All right, I'm definitely an in between. Those are two
Okay.
extremes. I'm not either of those. No, so
you
it
and Alex
depends,
or
right?
Kevin, because we're both very
I'm
far.
I'm a Alexan.
Okay, sure, we'll take
Whatever's
that.
in between, right? So it depends on the game. I traditionally I like fantasy and I like RPGs, right? Like those are my faves.
Okay,
But what happens
deal with
to
that.
me a lot is I'm side quest crazy, and I will just do
Oh, I am not.
all the side quests. I'll do all.
and
the
you
side
haven't
quests.
played The Witcher 3 through. That is
No,
the
I
game
haven't
for
even
you.
play-
Okay,
Dude,
look
I
it.
haven't played it,
Here's
man.
here's my word of advice. Turn off the mods, get in there, and in 3 weeks you're gonna come and see me and you're gonna have a freaking Witcher tattoo, I tell you, because
No,
that
but
shit
they
is
just-
made for
I
you.
can't turn them off. I mean, hell, just like 5 days ago, they just released a new mod that like overhauls all the animals. I can't not do
Fine,
that.
add that
I
one.
can't not do that.
You can add that one, that's fine. We'll allow
I
it.
wonder how they would look.
They look great, dude. Especially the bears. The bears look a bad ass, man. But I wouldn't know because I don't play the game.
So,
Oh my gosh.
the Gwent card game actually, because it keeps releasing new cards and stuff, it has released new character models of some of the animals
Wow.
and some of the environments in the game. And how the new creatures look in the cards themselves are a bit different than how they look in game. And there was talks of re-releasing a mod for The Witcher 3 that changes the models to how they look in the cards. But there's the problem of just animating new models for it, just because some of the cards are like a lot more in depth now than what The Witcher when it came out, how they looked.
Hmm.
So it's really interesting, actually.
No, I want to go play The Witcher.
CD Project Red is a little busy right now.
Yeah, no
And CD
kidding.
Projekt
Oh, they
Yeah.
are. Yes.
Oh shit!
We'll get
I
to
forgot
that.
they made that. Poor game.
I
Yeah.
got the refund for that game.
Oh, jeez. All right. So, anything else, CJ, you've played that you want to bring up here?
Nah, that's it for me, man. Let's move on to Zahi.
All right. Yeah, Zahi, what do you got? How's your
Amen.
week?
Above me on this thing.
Actually, I've been playing above you, right? I've been playing actually a lot of. So I guess I typically don't dislike any specific genre in general. Like I'll play everything once or twice at least just to get some experience with it.
Okay.
But there's a genre of game that I personally very much dislike, and that is survival game.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say porn puzzlers, but that makes sense. Oh, and then he went mute for a second.
Sorry about that. So I
Aw, damn,
really,
you missed
really
my
did
comment.
like survival game. Oh no, I heard that.
Okay.
I really
Just
just like
ignoring
survival
it.
games.
It was ignoring.
No,
Okay,
just
go on, go
plowing
on.
through. So games like Ark or Rust or Don't Starve or No Man's Sky, where you just have to collect a whole bunch of things. I always feel like it's such a grind and it's not really
I
worth it.
agree.
And it's just a bunch of tacked on extra resources that just extend the novelty of the game's life. So I really don't enjoy that
Have you
kind of
have you
game.
actually
But
played
I
all
am
those that you've listed though? Have you tried
Well,
any of them?
he said
Yeah.
but. He said but. Let
Okay,
him finish.
okay.
yeah, but I decided to try it, and every time I play them, I spend like 20-30 minutes in them. I'm like, this is ultra boring. Usually don't find like a good overarching plot that makes me want to do it. Like I don't feel very invested in the act of the collecting and gathering to build stuff. Like it never made sense to me that rubbing a piece of twine, some cardboard, and a cup will give me a silenced 2x scope on an Uzi. It just bothers me. So I
You just made that recipe up, didn't you?
that one I pulled that one from a game.
I need to go buy some twine.
Yeah, what game is that? Let's try it out, man.
This is some serious digital threats. So it just I never, or like, you remember Dead Island where you'd like
Oh, I love that
or
game.
even Dead Rising where you just smash a bunch of things together. At least Dead Rising sometimes made sense, except for when you add like a chainsaw to a motorcycle, and that throws me out. But I have been playing a bit of Subnautica this week, actually,
Ooh.
and
Subnautica is so good.
yeah. So Subnautica,
You playing that on
I have a
Xbox?
I am playing it on the Series X on Games Pass.
Okay, yeah, because I think it got upgraded on the Series X, so it probably looks damn
did.
good.
It does look damn good on Series X. It's actually
Nice.
beautiful. And for once, I feel like the survival gathering elements of the game kind of mesh along with the story, because basically what happens is you're an astronaut and your ship crash lands onto this watery planet. For all you know, you could be crashing into the Pacific Ocean right now and you wouldn't really know where you are, right? But you're just
Mhm.
going to assume that this whole planet's a water planet. It's like Waterworld or like that planet in Interstellar. So I really have I love being in water. I love swimming, but I get really freaked out from like what's inside of water and the peakiness of it. So there's a bit of like when I play the game, as you can just like go in and gather the stuff, but I kind of get like really zoned in, and I'm like listening to all the sounds of the fish and the sea creatures, and it really peaks me out. And I just like the overall like kind of atmosphere of the game, where it's both beautiful and a bit terrifying. And the fact that you are collecting things to get your ship back and up and running so you can get off this like water death trap. So I feel like because it has some what you're doing makes sense with the overall like plot. Yeah, I've enjoyed it for that reason. So, but on the Series X, I will tell you, I looked at some like even high end PC reviews of Subnautica, and there is a significant amount of clipping in that game, and objects not appearing correctly until you're dead in front of them. So you could be like scuba diving and looking down at the bottom of the ocean, at the ocean floor, but you don't see anything until you dive deep down, and then the textures just appear. It really throws you out, but the
Hmm.
overall appeal of the underwater submersion is fantastic. It really does a great job of like drawing you in. And there's like a replicator in there that kind of like makes your food and makes your stuff. So it's kind of like Star Trekky. And it kind of makes sense. Like you're not smashing the twine and there, yeah, buddy. You're not smashing the twine and the piece of stick in a cup to make like a digital thread. You put the resources in and it kind of makes it for you. So I'm like, you know what? I can kind of get that. And it's had like a weird pull where you're you need like an advanced replicator station so you can make better crafting. And then you're like, well, you don't really want to do that, but it would kind of help. And then you do it. And then, oh, but now you can get an upgrade box for your box so you can put more stuff in it. And you're like, I don't really want to, but I guess I'll do it. And like, it has this weird like area of kind of useless crap, but useless crap that you keep coming back to want to do because it kind of helps you play better.
That's all crafting games, man.
Yeah.
You just found the one that sucked you in. Yeah.
That game is very
Yeah,
addicting.
I
I
think
know
I
a
just
lot of
found-
friends that are very like enthralled by this. Is like, I don't know if it's the water world that brings people in there or with what the type of crafting is. I'm the same way with you. Those type of games usually, like I played Ark for like 15 minutes and I did a
Not-
Steam refund on it.
You can't.
I just gave up on it. I was like, this is like, it's definitely a time sink. Like you cannot have other games you want to play. Like I know you usually play Destiny, and then it's like basically throw that game out the window and do this. Like I got my WoW, that's my weekly stuff. I don't have time to go play Ark and do this shit and watch all my stuff get stolen because it's just too much. But I have heard a lot of people really like Subnautica. The other one that you mentioned that I don't know if you've played, No Man's Sky. You
Yes.
should have you played it at all before?
I played it when No Man's Sky first came out, but I haven't had a chance to play it.
Try that
since the
shit again
new
because it's on Game
improvement.
Pass, isn't it? I believe so.
It is on Games Pass, actually.
Try that now.
I'll
It
say
has
it.
changed a ton because I played it at launch too, and I played it about 2 months ago. It has changed a ton, and it is a very
show
fun
how-
game.
To show how far Link Cable Gaming has come as a website, we have a review of No Man's Sky up from when it originally launched, and it's like the person who wrote it tore it apart. I
Yeah.
think it's got like a 3 out of 10.
Really?
And like
Mm.
every time I look back at it, I'm like, but it stuck with me because like I have not played No Man's Sky for more than 10 minutes because I was like, this game sucks. This was back in the day, and I keep looking back. I'm like, oh, but we reviewed it. We gave it a bad score. How could it
Mhm.
possibly be good? And like, I think it was at the Game Awards this year where No Man's Sky won Best Ongoing Game.
Yeah,
And I was
it's
like, how is that possible? That game's
ongoing game.
awful. But I guess it's changed.
so different. I got it as a wedding gift. One of my coworkers at work bought it for me as a wedding gift, and super like random. I was like, oh shit, I'll take that. That's a great wedding gift. You kidding me? So I have it digitally on my PS4, and I remember playing it and going, damn, this game sucks. Like there was nothing to do, and I played it about, like I said, probably 4 months ago, like kind of mid-pandemic time period, and I was blown away by what I was able to see. And I was still playing on PS4, and it ran like garbage. Now it's available on Game Pass on PC and
On the
PS.
Series X.
Yeah, and now I have it on PS4, so now I can play on the PS5, which is backwards compatible with it, and I hear it runs even
Ooh.
better on there, and some upgrades. I don't know if it's officially upgraded, but I'm definitely gonna try that game again because what I played a couple months ago blew my mind. Like I would just
Yeah.
fly randomly far, far, far away, land on some planet that I'm the first one that's ever been there, and basically just claim it as my own and start building a little base. It was crazy. And finding your friends isn't too
So-
hard now. I was able to meet up with my buddy and we played
It's
together.
not?
No. It's
So-
pretty neat.
Because of the enjoyment I've had with Subnautica, I'm definitely thinking about checking out playing No Man's Sky.
You should.
So that should be good.
Especially 'cause it's on
Yeah.
Game Pass. You have nothing to lose. I mean, just try it out. If you hate it, you don't have to even worry about wasting money. It's perfect. Game Pass is perfect.
Speaking of which, Alex, because it is on Games Pass right now, are we able to do just out of my own curiosity, an update for an old game we've reviewed if it has, gotten a remaster and it's gotten better?
Executive decision. This is behind the scenes. This is how Link Cable Gaming
Yes,
works.
let's give a little insight to our work.
Just go for it.
Yeah, I think
ongoing
so.
games are kind of this weird thing where it's like, you look like this game collection. These games are kind of like Donkey Kong Land. This game came out. That's what it is. But like ongoing games,
That's right.
we should update.
I mean, they basically
should update our.
it's no different
System.
to even think of it as like a DLC for like Shadowlands. We did a review for that. It's new content because they have new big content packs that came out, like their organic life stuff. You can have a organic spaceship where it's like a plant-based spaceship now, and that came out I think in the summer.
so cool.
It is. It's just like it blows your mind the
So
stuff you can
cool.
do with that stuff. It's crazy.
I like that.
CJ, I know you
That-
stepped
and
away
that's
for a
my,
minute.
game of the week.
Have you ever played No Man's Sky?
Classy.
I love No Man's Sky.
Yeah, we were just talking about how great that game has become. It was something that wasn't great, and it's turned from crap to like good, and
Well, that's the whole reason I got it. Was I watched the Internet Historian's
Yep.
video on it,
yep.
and I was sold. I was like, hey, you know what? Any company that is willing to fix their mistake like that for free, and like they've continually been just creating new content. This is what you would want from a developer, right? Like
Yeah.
you want them to care, even if you screw up, because we all screw up. But as long as you fix that mistake and don't,
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
and don't pretend like it didn't happen or that it's not horrendous, like
Yeah.
that's what's important. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that I really hope that Anthem gets the same treatment, because it's a game that also came out and it just was a pile of garbage. And BioWare has been my favorite company and developer growing up, and everything they've made to me was just gold until that game came out, and it was just so bad.
Really,
Like,
Dragon Age 3, that was gold.
That
to you?
was not okay. Dragon Age.
Dragon Age
Time out. Those
Inquisition.
aren't pile of garbages bad. Those are just like a lower rated. Okay.
Inquisition was
I don't think those are that
fantastic.
bad.
Inquisition ended on an extremely good note.
Dragon Age
Inquisition
2
may have
wasn't
started off
bad.
in the middling.
Just in general. I just mean.
Well, I didn't play it all the way through, so it's.
But it wasn't a pile
I
of
played
steaming crap.
Inquisition all
Anthem
the
is
way.
a pile of
Yeah.
steaming crap. It is so bad.
I think right now with BioWare where they're at, where they have Dragon Age 4 and Mass Effect to be determined. I think
I knew
that's
you were gonna
where-
pull that
I
out.
don't
I
think
saw
they're
you
gonna-
grab a little case. I knew that's what you grabbed. I just knew it.
Is
Is that BioWare?
horrible. This is
What?
BioWare.
Yeah, it's a BioWare
Really?
game. A Sonic
is-
game they made.
Yeah,
Horrible.
I've never played it, but I know
that
they
one's
made
come
it.
up a couple times.
Huh.
Oh,
I don't know
jeez.
if it comes off on camera, but like, yeah, you got the BioWare and Sega logo.
I see it.
Oh shit!
This is-
wow.
This is the kind of stuff I love, is Sega and BioWare Sonic RPG. Like, it's just as a random. Anyway, I wanted to point that out because it's the only BioWare game within reach.
Like, do you have choices about how
Yeah.
many chili dogs you eat? Like, is that a is that a thing?
Oh my god.
I really hope that is an actual thing we do in that game. I'd be
So good.
Never really.
Oh jeez. All right. So anything else, Sahi? I know you went through your survival phase now. Anything else you play?
No, that's it. I played
Yeah.
a bit of Magic. I'm trying to learn that game, but
Oh yeah, you were saying that. Yeah.
It's a pretty
Yeah,
big world. You have a lot to get into if you're getting into that.
it's huge, which is why my friend is on Discord with me, who's a huge Magic enthusiast. My friend Devin, and I screen share. So we're doing drafts where you pick like the cards from the packs and you create a deck from it, and then he's helping me.
You're doing
The
it
choices,
digitally,
but-
like the digital game?
Yeah.
Or- okay. I see.
Yeah. Arena. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
watching my
Arena's
screen
really
and
cool.
It is pretty cool.
yeah, and kind of helping me through to learn it so that we can play. Because I'm really huge into Gwent.
hmm
So, but none of my friends really play Gwent. Yeah, so he's like, "Why don't you try this card game with me instead? Like, let's try it out." So but he's not just telling me what to do. He's actually like kind of teaching me the game as we're going through the drafts. We just finished before I came on. So the max you can win on like a draft where you pick basically random cards in a deck.
Mhm.
It's 7 games. And I'm 3-0 right now. So
Jeez.
and you can only lose I think 3 times out of the 7.
hmm
So right now we're on a streak. So I've been enjoying Magic, though it is. I'll give Magic 3 things very quickly. One, the card designs are unbelievably beautiful.
They are.
Wow. I mean, like, I think I just sat after a session when we played and just looked at the drawings and the illustrations because my God, they're beautiful. 2, Magic has an incredibly convoluted and complex plot or world. It's like Dungeons and Dragons level of what is going on here.
Yeah, legit.
And I think even more so. 3, the game is really, I find, difficult to just because there's maybe coming into it after 30 years since Magic has been out. It is really complicated
Oh yeah.
for me, at least. Like, my
Yeah.
God.
30
Yeah.
years? Has it been that long?
It's been out for a
I think
long
25.
time.
I think 25 years.
I mean, Mario just turned 35. I think we're just all old.
Yeah,
Guys.
bro.
I think
Yeah.
that's just things are.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yikes.
So I think Magic's just celebrated like a 20 late something birthday or anniversary. So I think they're in the 25 to 30 year range of cards. So that's a long history of things working together or not working together and being taken out of meta, and it's a really big endeavor to get into a game like that and to really like trying to get into it. So it's been a lot of fun. And that's
cool.
it for my take.
Cool. Well, this is a perfect segue into mine since I'm the last one left, because one of the games I've been playing the most is Hearthstone.
Yes.
So actually, I did play a decent amount of Magic it's on and off. Like every couple years, I'll get a friend who starts playing with me, and then I'll get into it. My one buddy who actually moved to Japan, who used to live by me, they have like the Magic. I cannot remember what it is, like a traveling events they have in like big cities. It's like a big thing, and I don't know the name of it, and I sound stupid, but there's different tournaments you can enter, and him and I entered a 2-player, I forget what it's called, but him and I versus 2 other guys, we made it kind of far actually for me, who was terrible, and I won some free stuff. I had some free packs, I got like free mats they gave out and all this stuff. It was pretty cool. But Hearthstone is my card game of choice. I'm very addicted to that since launch, and right now we're in the middle of the Dark Moon Fair expansion, and they are doing a halftime, like mid-release, like a smaller expansion. This is the first time they're doing it, and they're going to release, I think on the 21st, I think it is. They're releasing a smaller set of cards instead of a full expansion. So when they released it, they released the full, big, still bunch of cards, and now they're going to just throw in like a half the amount midway through to spice up the meta because it gets kind of stale in Hearthstone. And I'm really excited for that. So I've been saving my gold, doing my daily quests, all this stuff. So that'll be coming out. So I will definitely be talking about that more soon. Obviously, played WoW. I do my maintenance work, I call it, where it's like I do my daily quests, I do my weekly stuff, I do whatever I have to do to stay consistent with as much as I can do. The game is time-gated in a good way because I wouldn't do anything but play WoW, and I'd probably burn out very quickly. But every week it resets on Tuesday and they add new stuff. So for those of you who haven't played it, there are quests you get every Tuesday at like 11 a.m. And they will hand out the new 11 a.m. Eastern. Probably should say that. You get new quests, and then you can progress in your campaign for your Covenant, which is like your main hub world you're in. So still going through that. The game that I started because I finished Bug Fables last week. This is kind of a new world. I always have like my going games in the background, which is always WoW and Hearthstone, almost always. Then I have like my main console game or PC game that I'm playing. It's kind of like, my big AAA title that I'm getting into. And then I have my small little Switch games I play before bed every night. This is just kind of the world I'm in. So Bug Fables was that game. Finished that after about 6 months of just an hour every night or so, and maybe, between meetings at work. I finally started, I'm going to say that, is it Ys 8? Is that how you say that? Sis 8? Well, we know what game we're talking about, right? I don't know the subtitle of it.
What you're talking
I don't really know what it is either, and apparently this is a huge franchise that I've missed out on for years and years and years. But I remember I bought this game a long time ago, and everyone said this is a great Switch title. It's better than a lot of the previous versions of it. And I've actually been really enjoying it. I don't really get the whole plot of the whole world of everything, but I'm an adventurer dude, and my ship that I've been helping on has crashed, and I'm on an island, and I'm like helping build this island up, and it's been a lot of fun. It came out, I think, in like 2017. What's that?
I was gonna just say it's a great game.
Okay.
I played it and reviewed it for the website. I
Oh,
really
nice.
Liked Ys 8.
Do you know anything else about the
Ys
Ys
9
or
is
Ys
coming
or
out.
what? Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like anxious to finish this now because I kind of want to play that.
Ys 8 was my second Ys game. I played. Was it Ys Origins, which was a kind of a top-down Zelda style game.
Okay, totally different because this
franchise.
franchise.
How do you spell it? How do you spell that?
It's YS and then V for 8, and then it's on the PS4 and I think the Vita. It's on the Vita too, which I thought was kind of neat.
The last Vita games.
I almost got it on Vita because I kind of like the nostalgicness of it, and everyone said it ran pretty well on there, and I do miss playing on my Vita, but I
love my PS Vita.
Lacrimosa of Dana.
What's that, CJ?
Lacrimosa of Dana.
Yeah, that's one. That's the game.
Yeah, title for YS.
It's pretty fun. It's kind of a stereotypical JRPG in certain aspects of it, but it is pretty fun.
Kind of like what are those other JRPG? Yeah, there's a lot of these basic JRPGs that come out of Japan, right?
It's not a turn-based game though, so it is kind of a little different than what I kind of thought. For some reason I thought it was turn-based, and then I jump into it and it's an action
It's an action RPG.
yeah, which actually is pretty neat. It kind of reminds me of Xenoblade. That's the vibe I get from it.
Oh, okay.
Which I know is Alex's favorite freaking thing ever. So, but I'm actually
Yeah,
really enjoying
Xenoblade.
it.
Love Xenoblade.
I wish I could play Xenoblade.
So I've been enjoying that.
Good play Xenoblade.
And I know you guys probably knew it was all coming. I played some more VR stuff, and boy, have I been being sucked into the world of VR lately.
Good.
You
should be.
I finally got my new Oculus Quest
Kevin.
2.
We still have some news.
I know. I'm watching the time. Don't you worry. I got 2 minutes I'm giving myself for this.
We got 20 minutes to get through all this shit.
No, not the Virtual Boy. No.
Wait,
Put that
what the
away.
heck is that? What is that?
It's an
what is that,
old ass
Alex?
VR.
Virtual Boy.
That's
Virtual
the real
Boy?
VR.
That's that first iteration, huh?
That's for what
So
year did that
literally
come out? Like 92,
95.
95?
That's
Oh.
Gen
It's not
1.
VR.
Damn.
It's 3D. Like they called it virtual.
It's
Boy,
Gen
there
1
is no
VR.
VR. This is not a virtual reality. Anyway, I'm sorry. This was just lying nearby me.
You just happen to have a relic just sitting nearby
A
you.
relic.
Yeah, there's kind of tons of relics around me right now. Actually.
It's impressive. You're gonna have to do a walkthrough of everything you have in your room sometime.
Yeah, you should do that.
I've
You
been
should do a
asked
video
to.
for that. Why don't
I haven't
you?
asked to it because it's a mess.
Oh,
This
that's
area
fair.
where I frame the camera is nice. Over there, there's boxes because I'm
And
this is a work in
couches.
progress room. There's a couch here. It's a work in progress room, so it's not ready.
I see.
I noticed you didn't actually sit on your big couch this time. I'm like,
I've got a nice framing. That's the.
It's
I'm
perfect.
learning how to do podcasts, and they're like, don't
Yeah.
sit in the corner of a room. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good
Anyway,
Alex upgrade.
VR.
Anyway, so I don't have too much to say. Don't worry, I won't go crazy. I did play a game that every day there's a daily deal in the Oculus store where they mark down 20% on like a game, and they seem to be so far pretty popular titles. 2 days ago, I think it was, there's a game called Until You Fall or Fail. I forget what it is, and I might have typed it in wrong when I wrote up my notes. But it is a roguelite in VR. And this game blew my mind and the expectations I had for this thing because I think it was like $15-20. It was a pretty cheap title. And you're a guy, you have two blades, and you do a tutorial thing where you have to run up to these other guys, and then they'll put like indicators on your screen, there'll be a line, and you have to match your sword up with that line, and that'll be the block or kind of parry. So you're stopping shots at the same time while you're trying to do big sweeping blows on the guy in front of you. Well, you keep going through these levels, fighting enemies, going through, doing all this stuff, and then at the end of every level, you get a power-up. Just, like Hades or any roguelite like it's like this. So you have a choice between you can get more skill and strength, more health, or ability stuff you can spend later. And you keep going till you get to the big boss, and then it's, you know how it goes. It's the whole thing. It's just a classic roguelite type of stuff. But man, in VR, it really gets you because holy crap. I was faced the very tutorial, they show you like the end boss. You're like, okay, this guy's kind of big, I can take him. And all of a sudden a giant, like, huge creature falls from the sky and crushes that guy who you think is the boss, and now you've got to fight this guy. And I'm just like, whoa, like mind completely blown. It was insane. I lost, of course, but it was still insane to play in VR, and I was ready to go back into it again. And the coolest thing about like this headset that I have, because the Quest 2 is the one I keep like preaching about how great it is and all this, I can just stream what I'm playing to the TV. And my mom was actually over visiting because she bought one after the last time she was over here, so I was helping her set it up, and she's in love with this thing. So I'm showing her how to cast it to a TV so people can watch you play. My mom's at my grandparents' house right now trying to sell my grandparents a headset because they think it's super great now. So mom literally called me going, Cav, how do I cast to the TV so grandpa can see what I'm doing? So I had to like walk them through that stuff. But it is insane, the stuff you can do. The other game, I got 3 games that are just VR, so I know I go crazy VR stuff. Until You Fall was great. Definitely check out some videos and stuff on that. That was way more fun than I thought it would be. Red Matter is a puzzle-like game where you are a like astronaut of some sort. I played like 25 minutes, not a ton of it. And I'm on this planet, and it's like this Russian thing, and you can't really read anything. And you use your device to scan everything, and then it translates it all for you into English. You can read what's saying, and then you have to solve these puzzles. But it's so unique the way you do it. It was my mom beat the game, which I couldn't believe. My mom played through an entire like full game. Like it's like an actual game. It's not just like, like weird games my mom usually plays. Like, this is a real game. And my mom's like helping me get through the level, and I was like, this is weird. Like, I can't believe you played this. But it is so mind blowing to play when you're in this world of this. You feel like you're there, and the puzzles are so. The first 2 I did were like, this is easy, and then it got a little more challenging. But it's pretty neat. So check out Red Matter. And the last game I started was Trover Saves the Universe, which I know is a little bit of an older title. But I played that with my mom, and I was like, let's see how this goes. Like, she's either going to find this, like, funny or think this is dumb shit and never like it.
Has she ever seen Rick and Morty?
No, and that's not my mom's type of humor at all. Like, she'd think it's dumb. So I was just watching her playing TV. I was playing Hearthstone while she was playing it. And, like, their humor is kind of dirty, nasty. You know, it's bad, funny humor, but it's good. My mom thought it was really funny, and she bought it. She thought the game was hysterical. I couldn't believe it.
Dude, this makes me want to hang out with your mom.
It was
now.
funny. My mom was laughing her ass off.
on.
They're like dropping F-bombs.
She needs to be a guest on the show, man.
My mom's like, the little kid just dropped an F-bomb. I was like, yeah, that's the kind of world this is, Mom. So yeah, that's my quick little stop. But see, 805 was my cutoff for VR. I did pretty good. It's only 804.
Yeah, good shit, man. VR is
it's
so good.
It's pretty neat. There's every day there's something new for me to get in there and play with. Like, there's
every
just
day.
so much. That daily deal, I wake up, literally, I check my phone and I go right to the stupid Oculus store and I look for the daily deal.
Oh, you're obsessed
I am.
with it.
It's like I literally go to bed and I go, I have to work tomorrow. I'm like, at least I can get up and look for a new daily deal. That's literally.
Have you guys all done VR? Alex, Zahi, have you guys done VR? A little bit. Look, one of my
I don't own a headset.
One of my favorite things that I think I've ever done is give people the experience of VR for the first time. It is
so much fun. I agree.
When you get real VR where like motion tracking, you can move around in the space in the room, like that is just mind bending and mind expanding, really, right? Like you don't realize what the potential is until you see that and you're like, oh my God, I can see how this is going to take off in the next 20 years and what it can be used for and just how impressive it is. I'm really glad that you're into it because it's such cool stuff to get into.
It is, and I've kind of stressed this last week how this is like it's almost like a cool little niche thing that there's just like there's a lot of people doing it, but there's not like a mass of people. So this is like I picture this as like video games back in like the late 80s where it was like you were a nerd when you did it and people made fun of gamers, like what a nerd. And now everyone's a gamer. It's grown up so big, everybody plays games and stuff, and it's like a worldwide thing. Like I think VR right now is like you're like a nerd and you're like a weirdo because you're doing it. And granted, no one says that, but it's like we kind of are these nerds in it because we're figuring things out. We're like it's like the Wild West. It's like we don't really know what we're gonna get yet, and like the good stuff is still yet to come, and we're getting a little piece of gold along the way. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, moving on past VR. I love it. I love it.
Real quick, Zahi, Subnautica. They have like you can do VR with that as well.
I heard you can do VR.
That would be.
I feel like you might really like that, man.
That would be trippy.
Really like that. I love the sense of immersion. Kevin, are there that many games for VR for there to be a daily
there are
game?
So many games.
At this point, yeah. In 2016, no way, but yeah.
And it's like there's so much. There's so many developers just throwing stuff out there where it's like it's kind of like the Phasmophobia game that came out recently. Like it's like a crappy game that all of a sudden just made it big. Like that's what VR is. Like all this shit's being thrown against the wall, and some stuff sticks, some stuff doesn't. And the stuff that sticks becomes big.
You're a nerd, Kevin.
It's crazy.
Weird.
Someone would work really well in VR.
What's that?
It's like this game doesn't exist yet, so like, but like it would be really cool. Have a first person, and this like everyone would have to have their own VR headset for this to work. Among Us.
Oh,
you're walking around this giant spaceship, and finding bodies, and like
get this. So I played instead of 2 apps I think have it. I think Rec Room and then the WeChat or the VR chat. You can go into a room in these games, the Among Us room, and it's recreated the entire spaceship thing you're in, and you can play it in VR in first person. I started.
It does exist, Alex. It exists.
It's
man.
already
Holy
there.
Shit.
It's done in a way where it's not like
going to go to.
It's not like perfectionately.
Go to Best Buy to pick
You've
up
got to do this.
You should.
Alex, I've been so obsessed. I just bought my second headset and I'm selling my first one with the low storage. So now I have 256 storage because I was filling this up so fast. And on top of it all, you can open source it and make yourself a developer, and you can use this thing called SideQuest, and then you can put all these different apps into your thing that are just like not officially on the store yet. So a lot of it's like works in progress and stuff, but the things you can see, if you like that type of modding world and stuff like that, like you can try stuff and play with things. It's just so neat. The amount of experiences you can have are just endless. And every day there's new stuff being pushed up there. It's so cool.
Okay, but now I'm just going to mod it and then never play the shit.
It's true. You could do that. It's very true. You could be that guy.
Have any of you experienced the Valve Index VR?
I have not yet. I have not tried that one.
All right.
I know that's top tier.
Top tier, yes.
I don't know.
And not even necessarily for the headset, but for the controls.
Yeah.
Where they have
the finger tracking.
They do have the finger tracking. So it's a bar that goes to your hand, goes in between your hand, right? So you wrap around it. So if you're holding something like a baseball bat or a pipe, it feels extremely realistic. And when you move your fingers off it, you can see in VR your fingers moving as well. Like I can flick you off in VR.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do so many things. And when you open your hand, because the strap is connected, so you don't have to actually hold anything for it to stay in your hand. When you open your hand, you drop the item that's in your hand. It is by far the most realistic VR experience.
So not to sit and brag about the Quest again. So on the Quest, so here's the controller for it. This big loop around it has sensors to monitor where your fingers are at. So if you have your thumb coming up and down, it'll start tracking it. And then it knows your fingers moving up and down on this stuff too. It's not as perfect as the Index, but it's at like 1/4 of the price. It makes it a lot more tolerable, but it still does a damn good job with it, because that's what this big giant loop thing is for, to track your thumb a little bit better, and then your fingers on the triggers, and it works.
I am curious to check that out.
Very well. I'm surprised how well it worked, because I played on some of the older headsets and I was like, okay, yeah, it's okay, this is neat, but this worked pretty damn good.
Okay.
So, all right, let's move on to the news, because we got about 20 minutes left and we got some good shit to go through. So the first big exciting news story that I am so freaking excited for is Pokemon Snap has got a release date. We finally have it, April 30th. Is that what I wrote?
Yep.
April 30th. Damn it! Yep. I will be taking pictures of Pokemon in a brand new world. This ain't just a little baby remake. This is a full-blown new game. Damn it! And I can't freaking wait. Someone else, anyone else, sharing this excitement with me? Anyone?
Yes, I'm right there with you.
This is great.
I may get a Switch for this.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. This will be a game I will like. If the completionist in me has never been awake before, this is a game that would get me to do it, because like they're like, you need to find that Alakazam and get a picture of it. I will do everything I can to like take my camera and hopefully it's got gyroscope shit going on, and I'll take a picture and I'll find it, and I will be so freaking happy. And I'm very, very, very excited for this game. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, when this game came out.
VR.
Oh, VR! Oh my God, VR
that
was
would be
so good in this game. Holy shit!
Perfect for VR.
Yeah, but it'll be like a Labo, a little paper box you put on your Switch, and that's all you'll get. Nintendo's not full blown VR world.
See, actually,
it's gonna happen.
My ideal would be a VR Pokemon Snap.
See, you mentioned Labo. There is a Labo camera.
I know. It's just
and like it would be perfect for this. This is literally what that was made for.
Yes, literally.
I don't think they're going to do that, but
no, they won't.
Labo, I bought into Labo when it was new, and like it is cardboard rotting in a big in a closet somewhere. But yeah, new Pokemon Snap looks really good.
I'm beyond excited for that. That's finally like,
so I'm sold.
It's finally to say there's Switch games coming out that I'm looking forward to, because I don't really know much on the horizon that I've been like, I'm so glad I own a Switch. I'm so glad I own 4 Switches actually. But now I'm actually happy to own a few, because I will definitely get my use out of this.
You guys have seen the video for the new Pokemon Snap, right?
Yeah.
The trailer,
several times.
The way that they do it, because in the original you were on this track, right, and you were kind of slowly moving, and like shit would pop up, and you'd have to be aware, and you have to turn and take the photo, and not miss it. So watching this just really made me feel like I was back there, because the pacing of it is exactly the same as the original, which to me,
excited. It's such a dumb thing, but it's so fun.
It's really good. No, and that's the thing, right? Because when Pokemon was out, you're like, oh, I'm battling with Pokemon and doing all that shit, and then Pokemon Snap comes out, and it's completely different.
It's so funny.
It took Pokemon and put it into the Zen zone, right? Where you're just kind of chill, and you're watching these Pokemon just live their lives, and you're trying to capture what they're doing and trying to get points for doing it. And that was super exciting. So watching it now, especially because they're really going to flesh out like Pokemon, how they would interact and how they would like fight or scuffle in real life, right? Like if you're just watching them from afar as they do their thing, or what kind of foods they're going to eat, so you're watching them do these just natural habitat types things, and it's so great. Go ahead.
No, Pokemon Snap, you're right. Seeing them in like their natural environment, it's really what kind of, I think, Pokemon in general, it's into this like more of a chill environment where it's a bit more accessible, I think a lot of people appreciated it's not such a combat focused game, or there's like a level grind.
Well, made it more believable.
Yeah.
You gave like these creatures that you just seem like all they do is fight.
Authenticity.
Like, exactly. You're giving them a background. Now it's not just these things fight and it's a TV show you see. Now it's like, oh, you can see them like they're like real animals, and it makes you feel like they have feelings and family, and they've got babies and stuff. Like it's
and let's be honest, I mean, Pokemon are slaves, right? Like if you look at it, it's slavery. It really is. So
you're gonna be my friend, damn it.
So just
now fight for me.
Going through a safari and just watching them do their thing, it makes it feel much less
bad.
Bad, or like you're probing, like you're just kind of taking a step back and just watching nature be nature, right?
It's unique. And I actually read I read an article today on IGN that listed like it showed every game they gave a review score for Pokemon games. And I read the little excerpt they had for Pokemon Snap, how it was only supposed to be in Japan, and they're like, Americans would never like this game. Like, this is so stupid, Americans wouldn't like it, and it blew up over here.
Yes.
So it is such a weird thing for us to even like it, and I'm okay with it.
It appeals to human. It appeals to just human nature. Just like any country you go to, we all love watching cat videos, right?
Yeah.
Watching cats do ridiculous and cute shit. It's the same thing.
Right,
you love watching cute shit, and when you can be like that voyeuristic background where you're just taking photos of what's happening, that's appealing to everyone.
Oh yeah.
A fly on the wall. Thank you. That's a perfect way to put it. Yeah.
You were gonna say something, Alex?
Really. Yeah, like this new game, new Pokemon Snap. I really like that they are leaning into everything they've built from Pokemon since whenever the first one came out, like 1999 or something. Like it's not just because I remember playing the first one and being like, oh yeah, a Lapras will only do this, an Electrode will only do this, and it was very like. It was an on-rails game, but it was very on-rails. This one looks like it's a bit more dynamic. Like you might have like, oh, because you got these two to interact, this is now the scene that you've set up. Whereas the first Pokemon Snap, I remember, and like I haven't played it in years and years, but I remember it being like, it was very like, this is the only thing that will happen if you've done this.
Yeah, and if you miss something, you're moving along the trail, you're done.
So the trailer doesn't really show that, but yeah, like you can actively change how they interact with each other.
Yeah, so this was, I think it was in one of the press releases they put out where they were like,
I must not have seen that.
You can like steer things in a certain direction where like their interactions will change and be more dynamic, and that there are some like not open areas, but there are places where it's just like they're just like the AI is set to just live, like it'll never do the same thing twice type thing.
That's really cool. Did BioWare work on this one too?
I wonder if there's choices.
The big BioWare for a.
Oh my god!
I also really hope that this one is longer than the first one, because like the first one was like what, 6 levels or something. It's not a very long. It takes like 20 minutes to get through.
I wonder what the size of the game is gonna be in terms of like actual, maps and content, and how many Pokemon are actually gonna be in the game.
Yeah, they have a few to choose from.
Good questions. Very good questions.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully there's like actual gameplay and some more of like actual announcements other than just the because it's coming out and pretty quick. So even a demo would be great because they've been doing that for a lot of their games.
Yeah, a demo would be really cool. It depends on how long the game is, because you're not going to put out a demo if the game is only like 5 hours long.
I hope it's not 5 hours. Don't say that. Yeah, because we don't even.
It's longer.
I don't know if this is a budget title or this is a full like fledged Nintendo $60 US dollar game. So I don't know.
Does Nintendo do budget titles?
Well, all right.
So I feel like they do. They got to do like.
We don't know how many Pokemon are in this new one, but in the original there were 63 Pokemon.
Okay, there. It's a good amount.
So they should probably at least double that amount, right?
I would hope so.
That would make sense.
And the chance of DLC is available now, when it wasn't back then. So
that is 63 Pokemon on an N64 that could barely handle rendering Pokemon at the time, let alone,
Dude,
Yeah.
So
you're right.
imagine now the capability of the Switch. Double, I don't even think double is fair. I think it would be significantly more.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I would like to see at least
hope
the
so, at
base
least.
150.
How many Pokemon are there total at this point?
Like 800. I don't know.
900.
Just under 1,000.
Just under 1,000.
There's
Yeah.
Just under 1,000.
enough.
Gosh, that's
There's
like a
enough
ton.
Pokemon.
That's a ton.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll
like,
have
They've shown like in the trailers, you see like Gen 1. You see all the generations are covered. And I think I
at least a little bit.
wrong, but like there's a lot of like. I've definitely saw a chess pin at some point. So,
Mhm.
I'm
Right,
sure
check
we
that
will have plenty of coverage on this coming up closer to launch, because this is a game I know every single one of us that
absolutely.
work on this everything love at least a little bit. So
I get a Switch
I-
for this game.
I
you
have
should.
2 fun facts about or about the original Pokemon Snap. That I
Yeah.
would
Yeah,
like to
please,
share,
please
'cause there-
do.
No one would even care about these facts, but I like this kind of stuff. So, back in the day, you could take your original cartridge to a Blockbuster, and some Blockbusters had machines that you plugged your cartridge in, and you could print out the pictures that you've taken of your
I
Pokemon.
remember that
What?
actually. I
What?
do remember
Yeah.
that.
Holy
Fun fact,
shit!
But
Fact number 1.
do you have any left?
I mean, I've seen the machines on eBay. I'm not going to buy a Blockbuster Pokemon printing machine. It's just a printer, but
Come on,
Um,
do
But
it.
they
it's a
exist.
fun
Do
fact.
it.
Exists. It's a thing. And then fun fact 2 is this game. So Pokemon Snap is on the Wii Virtual Console and the Wii U Virtual Console.
Yep.
It's one of the very few games that they actually modified, and it has online support where you can share your Pokemon pictures online.
I was just reading that too. They added a
That's
few
really
things to
cool.
the original game actually. I think there's new Pokemon in it too, isn't it? Or something. Maybe it was a new
I don't know
something.
that.
Something.
I don't know that.
Because that was in the IGN thing that I read today too. Because they talked about. Because I didn't even remember it coming out in the Virtual Console until I read that article today. But all right.
It's one of the
wait,
very
hold on.
few-
I have some bad news, guys.
Uh-oh.
All right, I'm on the official site, and it says that there's over 200 Pokemon, which means that there's less than 300. So
Hey,
of the 900 Pokemon that are
more
out
than
there,
double.
200 like at least 200 Pokemon are going to be in this new one. So you're right. It is more than double of the original. That's true, but it is a bit disappointing considering how many.
Hey, I
Pokemon
bet
actually
you
are out
they put some microtransactions into this somehow with DLC or something like that, because they're gonna
Yeah,
know
there.
we're gonna
DLC.
Yeah,
want it.
you might be right on that. yeah.
Especially because they're doing the same thing with the Pokemon Shield and Sword, and I know those sell decently well actually. So
That's true.
shall
They do.
see.
Yeah.
That's like, that's a good number though for like this kind of game where it's like you're going to be playing the same levels and areas over again. I think that's fine. I think the way Pokemon Snap is structured. I think that's okay for a number.
mhm.
It's like if you had 900, like you'd be playing those levels over and over just to get like, oh, now I need the love disc, and now I need the other fish that looks exactly like a love disc, and like it's like
I
you're
need the
trying to,
Pokemon
like,
that looks like a pile of
build
garbage,
this up,
and
and
the
it's
other
like-
one.
The pile of garbage. I got to get a Pokemon photo of that. Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
jeez.
You know what? That's a good point though. Like, well, not in terms of areas. Like the first Pokemon Snap didn't have any cities, and like
Mm.
now they have all these urban style Pokemon. So going through a Pokemon city could be really. You could have a Detective Pikachu. I'm thinking of just ideas now.
Wow, you're
You
going
could have a
all over
Detective
the place.
Pikachu
like-
level.
Nintendo is going to take
Pikachu
all your
Libre.
ideas, buddy. Slow down there.
They need to
Pikachu.
hire you
Wow.
for this shit, man.
Just idea guy.
Just
Yeah,
send a
watching,
picture of you
yeah,
wearing this
You'd be the
Splatoon shirt.
creative director. That's what we'll call it.
Ooh, he likes. All right, moving away from Pokemon, we got two more big stories to kind of cover.
Let's do it.
So this breaking-ish news: the Ubisoft is now going to be responsible for making a Star Wars game, which is shocking on a bunch of levels because EA has been the sole partnered Star Wars people,
And they
and
ruined
they
it.
have just not really come out with anything good lately. Although
Okay.
I disagree.
Fallen Order.
very lately, Squadrons has not been too bad, and Fallen Order has not been too bad. Previously, past those two, it's been a
Battlefront
little
2
bit of
has
a,
not been too bad.
it's been a little rough. The big news about this all is is it the developer? I read this. Okay, so studio principal. So the French studio, the studio at Ubisoft that's going to be handling this is the ones responsible for The Division. So I'm wondering
Yes,
if they're going to
that's correct.
transfer some of that Division love over to Star Wars now, because that kind of scares me. Because that game is not a personal favorite. It's an okay game, but I feel like I'm not a big Star Wars
It's
guy, but
Division
the
1,
Star
not
Wars
Division
games
2.
I could do. What was that, Zahi?
It's the Division 1, not the Division 2.
They're both,
So
they're
why
both
couldn't
like
they
the
get-
same game. I mean, like they're close. But I'm not saying that the game's
Mass
Star Wars
Effect
game's
both?
going to be just like it. I don't know.
So
That's just,
I am super unexcited for this. Actually, I really dislike this news personally. I have been really disliking the. Yeah, I know. Me. So I am not really happy with this.
why? Why are you not
I'm-
happy? This could be good.
I have not been enjoying the recent trend of Ubisoft titles. I don't find that like it's fun or the exploration are good. I
See,
find sometimes the narrative is okay.
I
but
completely
I just feel
disagree.
the games are
I think they've gotten
totally
better.
boring. I like it's just gonna be a map with a bunch of
Collectibles. and-
a bunch of collectibles and a bunch of dumb fetch quests, and
You
it's
know-
gonna be a map filled with an insane amount of icons every 2 seconds.
Okay,
I
here's my
just
thing.
don't
Here's
feel-
my fight against that because I've
Hold-
had
hold-
this.
Hold on, Kevin. Hold on, Kevin. Let me just let's let Zahi finish
Oh.
first. I want to hear this.
Go on.
that was about where I was going with it. I'm not really enjoying the recent trend of Ubisoft's framework of games. It just feels stagnant, and I really don't want that to translate into Star Wars. I'd rather more of a single player approach, or maybe even something. And besides, what if are they going to do a multiplayer with it? You know, what has been Ubisoft's track record with online multiplayers lately, except for maybe say the Division and some brief parts of Watch Dogs Legion. I mean,
I
don't
agree
know.
with you.
I don't really find this to be something that's going to be really great, personally.
Kevin, go for it, man.
Well, so I agree and disagree. I have a feeling you're right. They're probably going to turn it into exactly what you said.
Yeah,
But I don't think that's such a bad thing because I think part one of this is it sounds like, leading into story number 2 to hint at it is another franchise from LucasArts and Lucasfilms or however they have it. 'Cause I know they just redid the title for it. Indiana Jones is also going to be getting a new game from Bethesda. So it sounds like they're opening up with their licenses and they're letting these companies try to do this. So maybe right now we've got an announcement for Ubisoft making this game, but it sounds like they're giving the opportunity for multiple studios to get in here and do this. So maybe you not liking that formula of this game, it might still have the chance to have another company take their formula of the games they do and use this franchise with Star Wars. So that's a positive side of it. But at the same
That
time,
is why this news.
no, you're okay. What were we gonna say?
Go ahead. You were done.
No, my
you
thing
were
is
done,
it's funny that it's in this argument that you said how they have that formula where it's like they do this with Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and all their stuff. It's like a ton of stuff on the map,
Everything.
But that's the exact same
just
formula
uninteresting.
of. But look at Breath of the Wild. That's all it is, and that game is beloved by everyone.
Incorrect.
And that's what blows my
Incorrect.
mind.
Breath of the Wild. Wrong. Breath of the Wild has a very, very different atmosphere in terms of how.
To me, it feels the
approaches-
same way. I mean,
you.
granted, the
No.
objects are not on the map, but it still is the exact same thing. What's the difference?
The objects are on the map, but Breath of the Wild, it is a lot more player driven. It gives you a lot more personal choice and freedom in terms of what you want to do. You can look at the map in Breath of the Wild. You have to actually explore it to find these things. It's not just a vomit spew of icons and map quest.
I can agree with
finders
that.
and-
There's a lot of they're a little overkill, these Ubisoft games. Like
it is
Immortals, because you played Immortals too. It is
Immortal.
is
It's
overkill.
what I couldn't play it.
I wish they
and-
turned it down like 20%. I'd be okay with it, but it is a little bit much.
And
But
Breath of the
but at the
Wild
same
is a
time,
single instance of a game where you look at everything that you can explore. A Star Wars game, a Star Wars property is never ever like that. Star Wars is about different classes potentially. Star Wars is about different planets. You have to do that, and it's just going to be another icon heavy.
But if I feel, I mean, okay, take. I just finished Far Cry 4 recently, and been playing a little bit of Far Cry 5 with CJ actually. Like if I
Nice.
put the Star Wars just paint on top of Far Cry and it's still similar, I think that would be a great experience. And I'm not a Star Wars guy usually, just the games I'm usually pretty interested in. I think that would be fun if I was a Jedi or a whatever Stormtrooper even. I can take any objective or any perspective of it and put it to that. Like, I do think that would be pretty fun. It definitely makes me want to play it and have some opportunity to do that stuff. I mean, Fallen Order was basically a paint over, Dark Souls type game, light. It's not exactly the same, but I think that was a pretty good paint job they put on that type of game, and it sold well, it played well, and we all agreed that was actually one of their better EA titles recently. So maybe none of us can even say anything because we have no idea what the hell this is going to look like. Like, this could come out and be literally nothing like what we're talking about. So it's, exactly, a track record. I don't want it to be like The Division because I don't find that game fun. That's one of the Ubisoft games I don't like. Alex, what are you going to say?
That's the most exciting thing is because when EA took over this license, I think it was 2013. They had a 10-year agreement with it. What
prior to the Disney buyout?
What had happened was that it painted all of Star Wars into it has to be EA, and so almost overnight it was like, well, does EA make good racing games? Does EA make good RPGs? Does EA make good shooters? And like, you had to ask all these questions because all these games can exist within Star Wars. There are Star Wars racing games, there are Star Wars flight combat games, there are Star Wars RPGs. Now that I guess what they're called, Lucasfilm Games, and Disney are saying, no, we're going to go on a case-by-case basis and like see which team has the best, what team can best give us the Star Wars experience we want. That's really exciting because like, Star Wars Squadrons is fine, but like, what if like they were like, hey, like let's bring Rogue Squadron back. Let's do like that kind of more arcadey style game. That was all Nintendo and Factor 5. Are they available to? Well, Factor 5, I don't know if they still exist, but like, could that be a thing?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think they got sued out of existence for something. Anyway, that was a long time ago. But like, who makes a good racing game? Who's the best? Like, hey, is the Forza team available to make a pod racing game? I don't know. Random.
Exactly.
Is the Tekken team available to make a new fighting game like Master Terras Kassai, which is awful, but could they do that? All these possibilities have opened up, and when I think today in 2021, who makes the best open world action RPGs? I do think Ubisoft. I would have said CD Projekt Red.
Hey,
they made one good one. They made one good one.
See, I also think of it as the who made Horizon Zero Dawn? Was it Guerrilla Studios? Is that the? Guerrilla so Games. The game before that, they made something. I don't even remember what it was, but wasn't it something?
It was awful.
Something totally different than what they what they made, and it turned into be one of the best games in the PS4. So maybe, I can't look at what the studio did prior, what they did, I guess I give them a chance. Let's see what they turn around and put out. Hopefully it's not, just painted over with the same formula, because it does seem like Ubisoft does it with a lot of stuff, but I don't know.
No, you're right. And I kind of want to touch on everything that you've all said, right? Because you've been negative, positive, all those things. And Ubisoft, they've done some great shit and they've done some terrible shit too, right? So I want to look at like a direct quote from the Lucasfilms game vice president, where he says, "We know that fans of Star Wars value the feeling of immersion," right? So I think this is a really good opportunity for Ubisoft to not only create a really good game, but to show just how diverse and how much they can adapt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that could be this game could do that for them. And if they're looking at it from the standpoint of, well, okay, we've done a lot of these other games that we have this very particular formula for, but Star Wars fans and people who want to play this game, they look at it differently. If they're at least looking at it from that standpoint, they could potentially pull out a really good game out of this. If and only if they look at it differently than all, and I mean 100% all of their other titles, right? But if they're willing to make that change and adapt to kind of this particular franchise,
fantastic.
It could be good, yeah, because
I
then
think
you have people who are trying to work on something that's different than what they're used to, which means, and when it's
Agreed.
different from what you're used to, you put in a lot of extra effort because it's uncomfortable for you, right?
I'm just worried that the whole, and this is where EA really fails lately, and I think a lot of these big companies is they get so big and they look at profit and they want to make a game that appeals to everyone. But you can't make a game that appeals to people who like shooters and don't like shooters at the same time. It's
Right.
they try to be so broad, they do an okay-ish job at everything, and they don't excel at anything. And you can do it to a point where you can stretch it out pretty good and you kind of cover your bases. But some of these games are just so generically boring. It's like it's a shooter and it's okay, and they added puzzles, but they're okay, and they added RPG, but it's really lame. Like, yeah, they checked off every box to say this game does everything for every person, but it's not fun. It's just blah.
Alex, was it you or was it Zahi that just said Cyberpunk? That was you, Zahi? Okay, all right. So yes, and I
way
agree-
too many hands.
You're
too many
right.
hands in the pot with that one.
Yeah, Cyberpunk screwed the pooch like 100%.
Too many things.
Too many
Ah,
things.
beautiful. The
Right?
classic.
Yes.
Too many
yes.
things you have.
That's a great game.
Mind you, I will give Cyberpunk credit for its fantastic storyline and its plot.
So actually,
Through
really
the
quick,
roof.
Zahi, before you say that, let's move on. I'm gonna
Yeah.
just jump into the last article we got here, and then we can jump right into what you got to say, because we're running out of time here, and I have to go to the bathroom. So we just finish this beer very
Oh, no.
quickly. So the last big news is obviously Cyberpunk, which we've been kind of hinting at over and over, and they had finally come out and made a video, and there's been posts and all kinds of stuff from the head tops of CD Projekt Red saying, we're so sorry. You know, they're just admitting that they screwed up a lot.
Yeah.
And they did not think it was going to be this bad. They thought it would be better. They had better expectations for themselves. You know,
That's bullshit.
all kinds of
It's such
stuff.
Bullshit.
It
They
all
knew
came
what
down-
they were doing.
And it sounds like a lot of developers have been tweeting and talking.
Thank
They're
you,
saying
Alex.
they're
Thank
like,
you,
you know
yes.
what? We didn't want to put this out. We were forced to push this out.
That's
so
bullshit.
it
That's
sucks.
Such bullshit. All of it is
Years
bullshit.
of
Look,
development.
Well, no, I'm saying that's
They
from the
knew what they were
developer.
doing.
That's from the
They
developers.
knew.
The management are the ones that make those decisions. So obviously they knew this was gonna be bad, and they did little tricks along the way, only showing PC gameplay, not showing off console gameplay. So that's a mess. They promised to fix it and everything will be good, blah blah blah. But yeah,
Review copy.
yeah, that's
yes,
I watched
and
the
they
policy
will fix it.
video.
They will
So
eventually.
yeah. Okay,
Right?
so
But look, they've
Yeah.
made all their money back and then some. I mean, the profit on
And then
Cyberpunk.
some.
exactly.
Yes, even issuing
Still.
the refunds, they've made a
Still.
ridiculous amount of profit, and that just goes to show that this was a calculated. I believe this was a calculated move where they knew that they could release it early, still make a shit ton of money, promise that it was going to be
Romance.
better later, and then do it later, right? Like, and this is proof that this model works. You can release a game that's still like ridiculously alpha, maybe even beta. You know, well, sorry, I guess beta's after alpha, right? Yeah. So flip those around. But you know what I'm saying, right? Where you can release a game that is complete garbage in a lot of ways, but still make a ton of money because people want it to be good, and they're so willing to have just this experience that they'll wait, 2, 3, 4, 5 months later for you to fix all the garbage. But they feel good, like, oh, I was in on the ground level, and it's still really cool, and there's certain aspects of it that are great and whatever.
I was here from the beginning. You guys don't know what it was like, and now how better it is. Oh,
Yes, there's a lot of that weird exclusivity hipster aspect to
Yep.
it, right? Yeah, but then you can release it, and then there's going to be people who are like, 4 months or 5 months down the line when they fix all that shit, who are going to now, because the game's good, they're going to buy it, right? Just like with me with Internet Historian and No Man's Sky, like there are going to be people who are going to be talking about how, it was shit, but then it got good, and that's going to make people want to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's I feel like this is definitely now a proven model, and we're going to see a lot of this happening with a lot of
Sadly.
different games coming.
I hope-
Sadly.
I hope that because of Cyberpunk that we're going to actually see an inverse of that, and a lot more people are going to be a lot more skeptical on games that do promise this large amount of hype, and hopefully until they're released, I think a lot of people got bit with Cyberpunk, and I think that's going to resonate hugely in the industry itself. My personal hope is that it's a lesson learned for people not to dive so heavily. I am a huge Cyberpunk 2077 fan, and I watched the apology video. For them to say, yeah, we're going to be fixing it within the year, the Xbox Series X and PS5 version are not even coming out until what, Q3? Maybe
Yeah, the
Q4
second
in
half of the year.
2021?
It blew my mind when I heard that. I thought that was coming out like in January, like this month. Yeah, this is the
Yeah,
second
and
half of
The original
2021.
release date.
It's
Exactly.
insane.
Game is a year away from being finished. But
And
that's where they're
even yeah, and when when he described what the development process on it was, saying that we built it on the PC at like our max capability settings, and then descaled it down. And that's where a lot of the problems really lied, is because they had to literally make it worse to be played.
That's game development. Games are
It
made
is.
on PCs. They're not made like you don't develop on the platform you're making
Exactly.
it for. Every game is made on a PC and then scaled appropriately to whatever specs there are. This is not a new
They
thing.
scaled it. They scaled it to such an incredibly high level where it could not meet what the consoles
So-
were doing.
And I think I don't even think it was even scaled that high, because every review that I've seen for Cyberpunk 2077 has said oh, it runs best on these high-end, crazy powerful machines. Still not at the level that people were expecting. I think its Metascore on PC is 80. People were expecting this to be 100 out of 10 or 100 out of 100. Which is not a realistic expectation.
Yeah,
to have for
the
any
game the game component of itself, like if it worked aside, is like a totally different argument, because I mean that kind of ties into what we were just saying, because like I've played the game on my PC where it runs the best, and thankfully I've got a decent rig where it runs the game, and still not great, even though I've got, a high-end graphics card, good processor, I got everything we need. It's still not great. There's still problems. The actual gameplay of the game is okay to good, but I think we were tying this all into this stretch too thin thing. I think that's exactly what it is. Like, I don't think this is a great RPG. I don't think this is really a great shooter. Better shooter than I thought it would be, to say. I will say that. I was surprised how well the shooting was. But I don't know if I really want to be in this world that much. I thought this was going to be like, oh, you can go into all these buildings and it's high res and it's the verticality of this is insane and every door's locked and it's not like it's an unlockable door I can go into. I felt like it was limited, and my expectations outside of just graphical errors and problems were kind of disappointed and brought down a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. And honestly, all right, here's the thing. I think that they looked at it. I don't know who saw it, or maybe if it was a collective decision, but they definitely looked at No Man's Sky and they're like, we could kind of do this, because you're right. Like, all the things they promised, they definitely didn't deliver. Yeah, and they're like, well, let's just put it out there first. Let's get a shit ton of money for it, and then let's try
market the hell out of it.
Yeah, we'll market it and we'll fix these issues later, and and see what happens. I really do think that this was a calculated decision. Even their apology was very scripted, and
the video itself.
Yeah, well, the video, like, and the way that he was saying it and all those things, like the apology didn't resonate with me as
didn't feel very authentic.
Legitimate. It didn't feel extremely authentic. No, it felt like something you would say when you kind of already knew. I felt like they had that script already written like months beforehand, because they knew this was going to be garbage. Like, again, this is just my personal take on it, but they're proving a point, which is you can release a half-finished game or a three-quarter finished game and still be fine, right? Like, you can get it out early and then just fix it later in patches, and that, I think, is a really, really slippery slope. And I don't think that it's going to create this massive change. I think it's just setting up more of this happening in more AAA games.
One thing that I think is getting lost in the shuffle as we do all the kind of our own damage control and surveying the Cyberpunk 2077 scene, because we've lost money, or we've gotten our refund, we've lost time and all that. I think one thing that doesn't get enough attention as to people who have been wronged by Cyberpunk are smaller game developers who move their games out of Cyberpunk's release window because they were like, we can't release on the same day as this game.
Yeah.
We'll get slaughtered.
Well, that's like just with movies, right? Same thing with movie releases,
there's tons of stories out there of these developers who are like, we moved our games out of the holidays into January and February because we were like, we're not going to make a cent. And now they're like, well, we missed out on the holiday sales.
Right.
Can you blame
Small
Cyberpunk
studios
for that?
I absolutely blame Cyberpunk for that.
I-
Cyberpunk should not have released this year. It should have released in a year when it's actually finished.
They even scared away Blizzard because in an interview I saw at Blizzard, they talked about a certain game releasing and they didn't know when it was going to launch, and they were trying to move because they delayed Shadowlands and they were going to push it almost to the same time as Cyberpunk, and they were talking about like, oh, we don't want to push it at the same time, and I was like, oh, they're talking about Cyberpunk because they know that game's going to push around even their game, and they're a huge juggernaut in this too.
Everything like scattered, and like Cyberpunk obviously got delayed like what 3 times this year or something.
Yeah.
And
Times this year and since 2017.
It's not already.
It's not.
already.
No.
It's not.
At the same time, it's kind of a counter argument to you, CJ, is I'm wondering if because I do agree it does seem like this was all planned out. They knew this was a mess. They didn't send out the review copies of console stuff until a certain time. They did a bunch of sneaky shit. But I think where I disagree with is I think it's setting like a standard. I think the amount of bad press and bad shit that even though they're still profitable and they're doing well, their reputation is in the shitter right now. And the amount of delays we've seen of other games that are coming out at the beginning of this year has been, I think, unreal. Coming in like crazy. Every other day there's another game delayed because I think they're all scared to be the next Cyberpunk. Because now the expectations, it's like people do not want to play a game that's half-baked. And I think developers are hopefully taking note of that.
Latching on to that.
One thing that's really nice about this that I think kind of talks about accountability is CD Projekt, not CD Projekt Red, which is the developing side of it. The CD Projekt is a publicly traded company, and they've lost 3/4 of their stock value since December. And they are held to their investors. They are responsible to deliver profits to their investors.
Their shareholders and all those people.
I just looked it up. I don't just know that off the top of my head. I did have to look it up. But yeah, they've lost 3/4 of their stock value since December 4th. Their stock peaked on December 4th.
On top of that, adding to it,
down 3/4.
Excuse me, keep trying not to burp. Hiccuping now. The amount of lawsuits they've gotten on top of it, just not only their stock price dropping, like internally within their country of Poland where they operate, they're being sued by local government of, I don't know what kind of laws they got, but whatever they did, it's not going well. So, I don't know. All right, this is a good spot to... Oh, you gotta go? Go fast. I gotta pee, man. I'm not gonna make it.
In my life, I've never seen a game get delisted from the PlayStation Store.
That's true.
Ever.
That's pretty crazy that happened, right?
That's bad. It's sad and bad because it shouldn't have to be like that.
It should have came out next holiday, like it should have.
I would have been mad and pissy for like 2 days, and then I would have gotten over it, and everybody else would have too, and it definitely should have been pushed. I don't know.
Well, I will say that there could be a benefit to it, which is, once you get a mass amount of people playing it, that's when you really break your game, and that's when you really know how to fix those issues. So I guess it could have strategically been a thing where they're like, this game is so massive, we just don't have enough people to test this. Let's just put the shit out there as it is, see what breaks, so we can fix it.
Yeah, but early access that shit. Don't put this out as a finished product.
Yeah,
that's where they went wrong. Put a beta out. There's tools and ways to get around it.
You're right. You're right. And I'm not saying, again, I don't know for sure if this is what happened. I'm just speculating at this point. But it does, in a way, kind of make sense. Where you can put it out there before it's done, and then you get this mass influx of issues, which then allow you to finish it, and really, like, within less than a year, polish the shit out of it. And now you have a whole new set of people who are going to buy your game at that same $50, $60, $70 price point, right?
I think they're worried about that kind of stuff because they could have done a beta, but that would have ruined the story for people. And that's, it's a story-driven game. It's like you can't put The Last of Us 2 out on beta because it'll ruin the game, and that's what people want to see. And this is similar, you ruin stuff, that's it. People don't want to... they'll probably still play it, but it will piss people off, and people wait for this, and the anticipation, and it's a lot.
I will probably still play it when it gets re-released on the Series X.
Oh, I will too, 100% when they fix all the shit.
This is a really old quote from Shigeru Miyamoto. Bad game is bad forever. A delayed game is.
Yeah.
I think that they got impatient and just needed to get it out.
Delayed game is
We
what?
got- A delayed game is eventually good, but a bad game is bad forever.
I
I
agree.
was talking about Twilight Princess, which also got delayed like 1,000 times. I remember. Back
But
in
I
the
don't
day.
think that applies anymore though, because you can continually be patching and changing it, right? Like you release a game.
That is true.
Yeah, before that would make sense, but now it's different. It's
I don't know,
different. The
Mr.
whole scene
Shigeru
is different.
Miyamoto. Has he played Wii Music or whatever that was?
I mean, I
Time to
like
change
that phrase, and I wish it were true, and I wish everybody went by that phrase, but I don't know if they do, man.
Oh God, of course you do.
It's been 10 years between the era of Twilight Princess's game development and style. You couldn't do patches and updates when
Yeah, and it's been 50.
or
Yeah,
or
I
like
agree.
it was that's around the time of Halo.
It was a different
No,
time. It
early
was a very different time.
It was
Yeah.
a different
Oh,
time.
that's very
I
true.
guess. All right, guys, I'm gonna get us out of
So,
here. Mostly
you're
for my
trying-
bladder and
Oh, I
because
have
you've
an
gone.
announcement.
Oh yeah. What's this
Go,
announcement?
shoot.
You're killing me, Alex. You're killing
An
me.
announcement.
I didn't wear my diaper today.
Let's get this.
I warned you there would be an announcement ahead of time.
I forget. Go on. Do you need like a drum
so
roll?
anyway.
Brrrr.
Yeah, sure if you want.
Okay, that was it. So,
Just letting everyone know who's listening, and then this will be on our social media shortly. But we're doing a giveaway starting on Monday. So we're going to. This is actually something new. You may have heard me say the word giveaway a whole lot. We're doing monthly giveaways now, so everyone can look forward to that. So last month we gave away a copy of our Game of the Year, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, and our runner-up Game of the Year, Doom Eternal. And a lot of people love that, so we're going to do this on a monthly basis. And we're starting. I mean, let's just start right now for January. We're giving away Mega Man 11, which is a really really fun game.
Nice.
So I got Mega Man 11. It's on Xbox One. All the details will be on Facebook and Twitter after the show goes live, so you guys can check it out there, or after the show wraps up, I should say. Yeah, Mega Man 11. Check it out. It's really fun, and we're giving away a copy of it. So
cool.
It's cool. Yeah. Am I eligible? Is that possible?
you don't work for us, so sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit. That's what I like to hear. Yes. Thank you.
Oh man.
Mega Man
Virtual
11. I'm all about that. Yeah.
Mega Man 11 is great. I played a ton of Mega Man 11. I love that game.
I've still never played Mega Man. That is on my long list of
God.
things to try. I think we went over
Mega
that
Man
Mega
X.
Man.
It's more mature and edgy.
Oh, jeez. All right, guys. Well, thank you. That was episode 30. We made it all the way through to 30. We'll be back
3-0,
next week for
baby.
31 and talk about whatever
Congratulations.
crazy news goes on during the
Impressive.
week and what we play and et cetera, et cetera. So thank you, guys. We'll see you later. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Subscribe. Do the same stuff.